My name is Avalon Austin Hagerman. I entered the Stuck at Prom scholarship. So the Stuck at Prom scholarship is put on by the Duck brand of duct tape, and every year they have two grand prize winners, which is $10,000, one for a tuxedo and one for a prom dress. And there's also 4 runners-up in each category who win $500 and a $100 duct tape pack. So I was aiming for the $10,000, didn't quite make it, but I still get $500, so it's still worth it. So I heard about this scholarship a couple years ago when a girl from Air actually was in the finalists, and I saw a post about her and I thought that was really cool. And then it's kind of slipped my mind, and last year I ended up seeing some of the finalists on social media, and I was like, you know what, next year is the last year I have to enter. So the fall of this year I got it together and worked on making a dress. So for the contest, you could choose to either make a tuxedo or a prom dress, and it had to use duct tape, but you could also use other materials. And then you just had to take photos of it and submit it on time. I believe it was due in May. I've always loved fashion and design. From a young age, I was always drawing out designs of dresses and clothes and playing dress up with my dolls. And actually last year, I threw a little party prom for my friends and made a dress out of fabric. And so this year I thought I might as well try and make a dress out of duct tape. So in the fall, I started drawing out different designs of dresses I'd like to make. And I tried to keep in mind that duct tape is a fairly stiff material, so not to think of anything too flowy. And this is what I came up with for the basis of the dress. And then I wanted to incorporate some meaning into the dress. I feel like it's a lot easier to create something if it has meaning to you. So a lot of the design elements relate back to anxiety, because I have struggled a lot with anxiety in my life, and I feel like a lot of other people nowadays also struggle with anxiety, and I thought it would be something fairly relatable. So each element I have related back to, and the ideas all came from anxiety. So the swirls patterns that I have going on throughout the dress represent kind of when you swirl or spiral into anxious thoughts, and the gold around the rim of the dress is like the silver lining, but it's the gold lining. The whole dress is mostly in black and white to represent black and white thinking. Like, it's either gonna go horrible or it's gonna go well, there's no in between. And the pearls represent balance in life and wisdom gained from experience. So when you go through anxiety and you learn things, then you come out and you know more. And the gold represents like the good parts in life. And then on the back, I also have some floral detailing, which represents like how you bloom and grow throughout life. So kind of the overall idea was you have anxiety in life, but there's also good parts and you can learn and grow. So when I was making my dress, I spread out the creation of my dress over a long period of time, but overall it totaled up to about 157 hours to create my dress, and I used 25 rolls of duct tape. Most of it was white duct tape, but towards the beginning, it was more the designing process and the shopping for duct tape and figuring out how things will work. There's a lot of trial and error. And then towards the end, it was a lot of long nights and getting my ideas out and hoping they worked. The most difficult part, I would say, is starting, because I hadn't really worked with duct tape before and I wasn't sure how it was gonna work. I had hoped to sew it on my sewing machine and then realized it was a little too sticky to sew. And then I had grand ideas, but I had to figure out how to actually make that happen. But once I got going, I got more confident in my abilities and was able to finish it. I would definitely recommend this experience to others. Making the dress was so fun, designing the dress was so fun. Even if you don't win, I think it's a great experience. And especially if you love fashion or creativity, arts, it's a great way to express yourself and try something new. So next year I'm headed to U of T for an open first year. And then I hope to take cognitive science after that, which is kind of an interdisciplinary program. I don't quite know my future goals or plans. I have lots of ideas, but I'd like to go into university and see what I'm most interested in first. If you are choosing to enter this competition, you should talk to your family. Make sure that you are able to spend the time and have this. Yeah, I also think if you think it could be fun, just go for it. Even if you don't finish, at least you've started something, and often once you start, that's the hardest part. My mom was very supportive. She got me some duct tape for Christmas and for my birthday. And at one point, I had hoped to take a road trip to find some duct tape colors we didn't have, and she offered to drive me. We didn't end up going, but still a thought that counts. The whole time she was supportive and let me know that even if I didn't win, I still had the chance to create something, and it was about the process, and that she'd be proud of me no matter what happened.
Avalon has always been an extremely creative person and has a tendency towards perfection. And so I told her, I said, if you're doing this, do it because you really want to create something and do it for the experience and the process. I said, if you win, that's great, but don't do it just to win. So my involvement in the overall project was really an observer. Avalon worked diligently on her own. She came up with a design and showed it to me and said, do you think this is good enough? And I said, yeah, it's amazing. And then throughout the process, I saw her piecing it together. I saw her struggles with some of the challenges of figuring out how it worked and the timeline and getting near the end. And at one point I'm like, are you doing this or not? We only have a week left. And she pulled it off.